2 years is a long time to be waiting for a season. But it's finally here, and something tells us it might not be the last. With Kevin Costner leaving the show, everyone wants to know what'll happen to Jon. With that being said, Yellowstone's final episode was leaked, and everyone's wondering who's going to the train station. Security is tight around Part 2's storyline. Back in September of 2024, Paramount dropped a sneak peek into the tightly locked vault that is Yellowstone's final season. It looks like they're not taking any chances when it comes to keeping secrets. The production team is guarding these last episodes like the Dutton family fortune, especially after leading man Kevin Costner took off to pursue his own cowboy dreams with Horizon. Think Marvel-level secrecy, but with way more dust, denim, and drama. The featurette kicks off with some lighter, laugh-filled moments on set. Our favorite rugged ranch hand, Cole Hauser, aka Rip, grins as he shares how this year brought fun times on set, calling it the greatest office in the world. On the other hand, Kelly Riley, who plays Beth, jumps in with her signature firecracker spirit, adding that they've been shooting nonstop and she feels so grateful. It sounds like the Dutton clan might be taking a breather between the intense scenes and secret plot twists. But don't be fooled by all those smiles. Things get serious real quick. The cast dives into just how extreme the crew's gone to lock down script security. Unsurprisingly, the biggest part of that top secret mission is figuring out how to write out Costner's character, Jon Dutton. No whispers yet about trips to the train station, but let's be real, in Yellowstone, anything can happen. However, director Christina Voros didn't mince words about the Mission Impossible style of secrecy on set. In a recent voiceover, she let fans in on just how serious the security's been around the Yellowstone storyline, calling it a huge testament to the crew's adaptability. Imagine working a certain way for 7 seasons, only to suddenly flip the script to keep the plot under wraps. From coded scripts to hush-hush filming schedules, the Yellowstone team is going all out to make sure fans are in for surprises at every turn. Even the cast is tight-lipped, with hardly a peep about the big drama coming in this final season. That's mostly because they don't even know how it's all going to play out. In a move straight out of a spy thriller, the actors received redacted scripts, meaning they only knew their own lines, with the rest of the story hidden from them. This means that every reaction we see on screen will be raw and in real time. Can you imagine filming an intense scene not knowing how it all ties together until you're actually in front of the camera? That's some serious commitment to keeping the mystery alive. Kelsey Asby, who plays Monica Dutton, opened up in a recent video tease released by Paramount Network admitting, "This season has been very secretive." She's not kidding either. The video includes behind-the-scenes interviews with the main Yellowstone crew, Kelly Riley, Wes Bentley, Luke Grimes, and Cole Hauser. Jen Landon, aka Teeter, revealed how, except for their own characters' lines, everything else was blacked out. So no peeking at the juicy details outside their own scenes. Then there's Dawn Olivieri, who plays Sarah Atwood, Jamie Dutton's new romantic interest. She admitted she had zero idea what was going down in her co-star's scenes. Dawn explained that they couldn't share any details with each other, adding another layer of suspense. Director Christina Voros admitted this was a first for the series. She said that this new level of security came with its own set of challenges after 7 seasons, but it was all about keeping the story under wraps for the audience's sake. Because Yellowstone isn't just a show, it's a treasure trove of shocking twists, and they want to make sure we get hit with them fresh. Apparently, this approach worked wonders in bringing out authentic, unfiltered performances. But the real kicker? The cast is bringing their absolute A-game. Director Voros says she's been moved more by their performances than ever before. And if that's not a glowing endorsement, we don't know what is. We're talking tier-worthy scenes with Beth, Casey, Jamie, and Rip. And if those previews are anything to go by, it's going to be a roller coaster of drama. As Grimes put it, the emotional moments hit him hard, and he thinks the audience will absolutely love them. Now, if you thought the plot twists were wild, wait until you see what the cast has in store. Who's coming back for Part 2? Of course, we've got the usual suspects like Luke Grimes, Kelly Riley, Cole Hauser, Wes Bentley, Kelsey Asby, and Gil Birmingham, but the drama doesn't stop there. Forey J. Smith is back as Lloyd, the tough-as-nails ranch hand with a loyalty to the Duttons that runs deeper than Montana's rugged terrain. Then there's Denham Richards, who plays Colby. He's the good-hearted ranch hand who always seems to bring just the right amount of comic relief to balance out the intensity of life on the Yellowstone ranch. It's a good thing, too, because after all the family drama, we could all use a little lighthearted banter. But wait, there's more! Wendy Moniz returns as Governor Linnell Perry, whose rocky alliance with Jon Dutton keeps the tension high. Plus, the ever-cool Mo Brings Plenty will reprise his role as Mo, Rainwater's wise and steady advisor. If there's anyone who knows how to navigate the tricky waters of tribal politics, it's Mo. As for fresh new faces, well, Taylor Sheridan isn't exactly known for playing it safe. And with Yellowstone Season 5 Part 2, fans can expect his signature twist on the Dutton world. While Kevin Costner's exit left a major hole in the heart of the show, don't fret. The cast is more than ready to pick up the slack and bring the heat. As always, Sheridan might add some fresh faces to the mix, ready to stir up some serious drama. You know he loves shaking up the Duttons' world with new characters who throw everything we thought we knew into question. On top of that, based on Kelly Riley's latest Instagram teasers, we're in for some major moments. Who knows, maybe even new alliances or power struggles could change the game at Yellowstone Ranch. With the return of fan favorites, plus the promise of fresh faces and high-stakes drama, Part 2 is primed to be an absolute roller coaster. If you thought the first half was explosive, just wait. The second part is shaping up to be nothing short of fireworks. Throwback to the Generations of Blood teaser. On August 25th, Paramount Network dropped a teaser that had Yellowstone fans on the edge of their seats. It was clear right away, Season 5 Part 2 is going to be explosive. The teaser had Rip gearing up for some serious action. He was loading his rifle and storming into the main house like he'd just stumbled upon a bombshell. Now, considering the loaded history on this ranch, we can't help but wonder if this moment ties into Jaime's ongoing disaster of a life, particularly the ugly truth about Beth's infertility. Throw in the tagline, "Generations of blood have led to this," and it's clear we're heading into some deep, dark waters. It's going to be 5.5 seasons of non-stop tension, family betrayal, and all the juicy drama between Jaime, the Dutton's black sheep, and his fiercely fiery sister Beth. And let's not forget Jon, the dad who's been undermining Jaime for years. But let's be real, Jaime's been digging his own grave for ages. However, the question that lingers, with Kevin Costner stepping away from the show, what's going to happen to Jon Dutton? What to expect from Season 5, Part 2? By the end of Part 1, the stage was set for a showdown between Beth and Jaime, two Duttons whose family drama could rival any soap opera. These two have been butting heads for years, but now that Jon's no longer around to play peacekeeper, there's absolutely nothing stopping them. It's about to be a free-for-all, and you can bet it's going to get bloody. Let's be real, even Casey, the Dutton family's resident voice of reason, isn't going to be able to cool things down. At this point, it's every Dutton for themselves. Production on the final episodes is rolling full steam ahead, and with the release date creeping closer, we're bound to get a sneak peek soon. But here's the real question. Will we get a glimpse of Kevin Costner's Jon? That's still anyone's guess. But here's the one thing we do know for sure. If Kelly Riley is this excited, you'd better believe fans should be too. Speaking of Kelly, let's shift our focus to Beth Dutton, because trust us, things are about to get downright explosive with her. This woman has been through it all. Brutal emotional and physical trauma, betrayal, heartbreak. But through it all, she's remained fiercely loyal to her family, especially her father, Jon. In a way, she's more like him than her brothers ever could be. So with Jon potentially out of the picture, guess who's stepping up to take the reins? That's right, Beth is gearing up for the fight of her life, and the stakes couldn't get any higher. Her long-standing feud with Jaime had been bubbling under the surface for seasons, but now it's ready to boil over. If Jon dies, cue the drama. Beth is going to be pushed to her absolute limit. Jaime, her brother-turned-enemy, could be her biggest rival. Or worse, the one who kills their father. If that happens, it's game over for Jaime, and everyone knows it. But don't think Beth's just fighting for her family name. She's building a family of her own with Rip and their adoptive son, Carter. If you're thinking about messing with her family, then you'd better run for cover. She's even more dangerous now, with everything she loves on the line. That's exactly why Jaime is in her sights. Safe to say the final episodes are going to be a roller coaster of emotion, and anyone who crosses Beth is going to feel her wrath in the most intense way possible. Now, even though neither Sheridan nor any of the cast members have revealed how Costner's exit will be explained, there are only so many options for Jon's ending. Jon could die of natural causes. For starters, the biggest theory floating around is that Kevin Costner's iconic ranch patriarch might just be getting a permanent exit. Honestly, it makes total sense. If you've been wondering how they'd explain his absence on the show, dying might just be the most straightforward solution. The most believable theory? Natural causes. Think about it. Jon Dutton's been working his butt off at the ranch, living the rough cowboy life, and let's be real, his age isn't exactly on his side. One minute he's out there wrangling cattle, and the next, boom, off-screen heart attack. Or maybe he just peacefully slipped away in his sleep. It's not exactly shocking or dramatic, but it sure is plausible. Now, while it wouldn't be the most jaw-dropping exit in the Yellowstone history books, it'd certainly work. With Costner stepping back, this death clears the way for the juicier, explosive storylines to take center stage before the finale. However, while Jon's exit could come naturally, there's also the unsettling possibility that his son Jaime might take matters into his own hands. Jaimes' plan is successful after impeaching his father. The final episode of Yellowstone Season 5 Part 1 pulled back the curtain on Jaime's ultimate betrayal of his father, something that took years in the making. The guys never felt like he fit in with the Duttons, so it's no shocker that he's finally gone full rogue on them. Enter Sarah Atwood, the master manipulator, who convinces Jaime that it's time to knock his father off his pedestal. How does he do it? By going after Jon's political power, of course. Jaime files articles of impeachment against Jon, accusing him of violating all sorts of state laws, basically attempting to strip away Jon's iron grip on Montana. He's going for full-blown political sabotage here. It's a move that could very well see Jon kicked out of office. Heading into Yellowstone Part 2, we might find out that Jaime's little stunt actually worked. What if, by the time the premiere hits, Jon is no longer the governor of Montana? This opens the door for Costner's character to take a back seat, disappearing from the public eye. This will pave the way for his daughter Beth Dutton, who's now in charge of cleaning up Jaime's mess and handling her treacherous brother. But then again, knowing how stubborn and determined Jon is, there's no way he's letting his son one-up him like that. Jon goes on the run from the police. You see, after Jaime Dutton drops the bombshell of filing impeachment articles against his father, things quickly spiral into a full-blown family feud. Enter Beth Dutton, the queen of threats, who wastes no time confronting her treacherous brother. She's ready to bring out the big guns, those infamous photos of Jaime disposing of his biological father's body at the train station. One little problem. Jaime's not backing down. Instead of cowering, Jaime pulls out an ace of his own. He knows all about the skeletons in the Dutton family closet. Apparently, Jon's been sending way more than just Jaime's dad to the train station over the years. Yeah, you heard that right. Jon Dutton, the man we've all seen as Montana's iron-fisted governor, has been using the train station as his personal graveyard. This obviously leaves Beth and Jaime at a standstill. Beth's big threat has lost some of its power, and Jaime's got the upper hand now, knowing something that could blow the lid off the Dutton family empire. Plus, let's be real, Jaime's not exactly the type to hold back when he smells blood in the water. He could easily take his revenge to the next level and spill the beans to the police about his father's shady dealings. If Jaime pulls that trigger, we could see Jon on the run from the law in Part 2, trying to dodge prison while the family's dirty secrets come to light. This could also explain Kevin Costner's absence in the season. Jon Dutton going into hiding would make perfect sense for the storyline. Either that, or Jon might just decide that stepping down will be his way out of the chaos for good. Kevin Costner's character moves out of Montana. Even though Jon suddenly moving out of Montana might be unbelievable on the surface, it could make sense if the writers do it right. You see, it's obvious that Jaime dropping the impeachment bomb has pushed Jon's political career to the brink. It wouldn't be surprising that Jon, tired of the constant battles, the bloodshed, and the never-ending stress of protecting the ranch, decides it's time to walk away. Maybe he's realized he's given everything to the Yellowstone ranch, but it's a fight he can't win forever. Sure, Jon stepping down as governor and leaving the state feels like a stretch in this high-stakes drama. But consider this. He's a man who's been running on fumes for years, constantly fighting to keep the land, protect his family, and outsmart his enemies. After Jaime's betrayal and the looming impeachment, maybe Jon decides to bow out gracefully, leaving the political circus behind and vanishing from Montana's spotlight for good. It's a bold move, and sure, it's not something we'd expect from the man who's been Montana's governor for years. But in the world of Yellowstone, the unexpected is always lurking just around the corner. Could Jon Dutton leave the state of his own volition, handing over the torch to the next generation of Duttons? It seems unlikely, but it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility. What if, though, Jaime decides he doesn't have the time to play the long game and pulls the trigger on his own father? Jaime kills Jon. At the end of part 1, Jaime tells Sarah Atwood he's ready to kill both his father Jon and his sister Beth. Sarah's got the connections to get the job done, and Jaime? He's all in. He's bloodthirsty and out for revenge, and it wouldn't be shocking at all if he's the one who ends up taking Jon out. But here's the twist. While Jaime might strike first, the real winner in the Dutton family showdown is likely to be Beth. You see, Beth has wanted Jaime dead for years, and her hatred for him has only grown. Mainly because Jaime was the one who had her sterilized without her permission. Since then, the two have been at odds, and Jaime's betrayal in the season 5 finale gives Beth all the excuse she needs to finally get rid of him. If Jaime kills Jon, it's almost a guarantee that Beth will be the one to take Jaime down. The Dutton family war isn't over yet, and Beth seems poised to win. As for whether Jon's absence is tied to this deadly sibling rivalry, well, we'll just have to wait and see. Here's the kicker, though. If Jaime's plot flops, the writers might just shuffle Jon off on a convenient political errand. Jon is away on business. After all, he's the governor of an entire state, so a little out-of-town work doesn't sound too far-fetched, right? The problem, though, is that sending Jon off on a business trip wouldn't exactly tie up his storyline in a satisfying way. It's the kind of quick fix that makes fans roll their eyes. But hey, when have TV writers ever been above a little cop-out? However, if they decide to get really creative, there might be some dramatic yet sensible solutions. Maybe they'll say he's off to secure some big political deal to protect Montana's land, knowing he'll never come back. Or maybe he'll disappear during a mysterious diplomatic mission, adding a bit of dramatic flair to his exit. Either way, we're likely looking at an out-of-sight, out-of-mind scenario. It's hard to imagine Yellowstone without Jon Dutton. He's the heart, soul, and fists of the whole show. Sure, a governor's trip might wrap up his character on paper, but let's be real. It's not the explosive, satisfying end we were hoping for. It's more like a slow fade-out, leaving us with questions, frustration, and a Dutton-sized hole in our hearts. Now, the writers could scrap all that and have Jon taken out of the picture by someone no one suspected. Jon is killed by a different Yellowstone villain. What if it isn't Jaime Dutton who finally takes down Jon? At this point in the show, everyone knows that Jon spent years ruffling every feather in Montana. He's made more enemies than Jaime could even keep track of, so really, anyone could be the one to send him 6 feet under. Now, this doesn't mean that all eyes are off Jaime. Everyone's waiting to see if he finally snaps and makes good on his threats. However, how convenient would it be for him if someone else stepped in and handled the job for him? Enter Sarah Atwood and her gang, led by the ever-mysterious Caroline Warner. They could very easily decide to pull the trigger and hire a hitman to take Jon out of the picture. This way, Jaime's hands stay squeaky clean, and he gets to live guilt-free while someone else does the dirty work. It's a juicy way for Jaime to ditch Dad without the blood on his hands. And honestly, it's not a stretch with the shady crowd Jon's up against. But wait, it gets even better. What if one of Jon's other kids, aka Beth and Casey, finally snaps and decides it's time to end this Dutton family war once and for all? Maybe Beth, with her fiery temper and love-hate relationship with Daddy Dearest, finally says, "Enough is enough." Or maybe it's Casey, who's been dragged into the family drama for too long and wants to protect his own family. Either way, a family betrayal would take this saga to a whole new level of drama. Then, for the biggest wild card of all, what if a total stranger, a face we've never seen before, rolls into town and takes Jon out? It does sound crazy, but in the chaotic world of Yellowstone, stranger things have happened. Sure, it might seem far-fetched, but think about it. Jon's list of enemies isn't exactly short. and a random hit could be the ultimate twist nobody saw coming. But here's a thought. What if Jon's end doesn't come from a bullet or betrayal, but from a crash worthy of his high-stakes life? Kevin Costner's character dies in an accident. Similar to Jon dying of natural causes, it would be easy to have Kevin Costner's character die in an accident. Sure, Taylor Sheridan has already slammed the door on the car crash theory. In fact, he pretty much went off on the idea, saying he doesn't do car crashes just for the sake of drama. He's got a point, after all. Yellowstone is about gritty, raw storytelling, not gimmicky shock value. So that car crash theory is dead in the water, but let's not write off the idea of Jon dying in an accident altogether. Now, here's where it gets interesting. What if Jon passes in something a little more fitting for the Dutton lifestyle? A plane or helicopter crash? Jon's a man of action, a rancher who's always on the go. It wouldn't be out of left field for him to be flying around Montana for business. This could be a sneaky way to explain Costner's absence in the episodes without having to bring him back for a dramatic final scene. The best part? It still fits with the show's need for a dramatic exit, and it gives Jon the kind of exit that feels in line with his high-stakes, larger-than-life persona. While many fans expect Jon to die naturally in Season 5, Part 2, an accident, just not a car crash, could be a fitting way to end his arc. Either way, Jon's fate is sealed, and we're just waiting for it to happen. Now, everyone assumed that Yellowstone would wrap up with Season 5, and Taylor would shift his focus to other spin-offs in the universe. However, according to some reports, Paramount is seriously considering a 6th season. The season will be headlined by Beth and Rip. While fans were initially led to believe that Season 5 Part 2 would be the grand finale, the latest teaser for the November 10th premiere seems to suggest otherwise. There was literally no mention of this being the final chapter. Could there be more in store for the Duttons? Cole Hauser, aka Rip Wheeler, isn't leaving much room for a comeback though. When chatting with US Magazine, he hinted that this could be the end of the road, saying, "It's been a great ride with everyone involved." Sounds like he's prepared for a serious finale moment. But then there's Kelly Riley. She's a bit more open to the idea of more Yellowstone, but with a twist. In an interview with EW, she said nothing is set in stone, but added that if Taylor wants to write it, she would want to do it. While she's all in for more action, she does acknowledge that things can't stay the same forever. The story is ending. Yellowstone as we know it is ending, she said, but hinted that if the Dutton saga continues, it'll definitely feel different. So, will Jon Dutton make a final appearance on the show, or will he be silently written off the show? Regardless of that, Season 5 Part 2 is surely geared up to give Yellowstone fans a supposed ending to an incredible saga. Let us know in the comments what your thoughts are on the Yellowstone final episode leaked. Who's going to the train station?